So today we're looking at a knife that breaks every rule in my EDC book, but I love carrying it. We're looking at a collaboration with Kershaw. The Kershaw Emerson CQC 11K is what we're checking out here today. This thing is a beast, but as soon as I saw it, I said I have to have it and I have to try it out. And really, for being 5.9 ounces and just ginormous, it is really easy to carry and a lot of fun. And I love the Prince of Persia sweep up, Persian, scimitar feel that this knife has. So we're gonna walk through it with you today, show you what it has to offer, why I like it so much. And again, it breaks every rule. I like lightweight, compact, EDCable blades, but I've been carrying this a ton since I got it because there's just a fun factor as well as a performance factor. So let's go ahead, take a look at what this thing has to offer and why, even though it's a lawbreaker, I love it. All right, the Persian styling is amazing on the blade itself. Now what we have here is it's not a satin, I think it's stonewash. It's kind of like a middle of the line almost is what I'm kind of seeing here. In it, it is a hollow grind. They have done it really, really well. It goes all the way through to the tip there with that nice clip point. And what makes the aesthetics, when you look at this knife, just the Persian feel, is that the tip of the blade up here is higher than the handle. That's what gives it that massive sweep, massive belly, and that scimitar, Prince of Persia, that styling of the pocket knife. And I love it. I mean, it's super cool. I don't have another folder like it. Now, what that means is this thing is like a zipper. If you get this into your material and start cutting, it's going to be like zip with that hollow grind. It's a 0.12. And you just slice that thing, it's gonna zip open every single time. Cardboard, packages, material of any kind, cloth, seat belt, whatever, all that type of thing. Now the one thing that I would note, and that's all done again, hollow grind, huge, massive belly. The one thing though is that the tip is not ultra precise. It's pretty strong, and because of the massive belly up here, it takes a little bit for me to puncture like a package or get through a cardboard box. Now, once I get in it, zip, it's a zipper, but it's not as piercing sharp as other knives on the market. So that is something to note. This is just like a scimitar. I mean, think of a scimitar. It's designed as a slicing tool, not as necessarily a stabbing tool. This is much more slicing capability than stabbing capability. So just think that in mind. That means that not that you can't stab with it, but it takes a little effort to get punctured into whatever material you're trying to cut, and then you cut it. More so than, say, like a way more precise tipped knife here, just using the Emerson Launch 3. This is way more precise. I'm able to stab into something and then get cutting, but it's not going to zip open stuff as easily as this would. So just kind of give you, again, perspective there with the blade shapes. Now, this is 8CR 14 MOV, like a minute step above 8CR 13 MOV. It's gonna rust on you unless you take care of it in high humid environments, and I live in a very dry environment, so I don't usually experience that, but it's decent, for the price point of under $40. I mean, what we're paying for this, everything that we're getting, the ultra strength, it's gonna sharpen up super easy, razor sharp anywhere in the world. I mean, again, a coffee mug, you could tune this thing up and you're gonna be able to slice for a good amount of time. Now, it's gonna dull pretty quick on you, with extended hard use. You will have to tune this up pretty regularly, but it makes it very easy to tune up. And again, at the budget price, I'm very happy with the steel. Always, would prefer something a little bit more upgraded. Even AUS 8, I would take over it. But very good for the budget line that Emerson is producing with this knife, and totally stands out from the crowd and is a great performer when it comes to slicing. So the deployment is the well-known Emerson disc. Now it's going to have that Phillips head screwdriver bit right there as well, so you could totally take it off if you needed to. I've never had one loosen up or get lost on me, something to consider there. And there would be a little detent if you had to take that off. So with that, and obviously that's ambidextrous either side, opens up, just flick of the wrist. It does have Teflon or nylon bushings in there. Not super big fan of that. Bronze bushings are always better, phosphorus bronze bushings. Now you can get in here and try and replace them and do all that type of stuff, but I would just prefer to see that on there. It's an extra $1 maybe to put on that. So I just would really like to see that in the future, to see these knives and the Emerson line, a lot of the Kershaw budget line coming with bronze phosphorus bushings. But it's still decent in its deployment. It's definitely not as smooth as, say, some other knives out there like a Rat Model 1 or something like that, but it's decent in its deployment, and in that sense. And then obviously the Emerson Wave. Now, if you've never used the Emerson Wave, it's a lot of fun. It takes a little getting used to. You're gonna kick it out the back and it just hooks onto your pant pocket, and you just pull it out and you're good to go. Now, depending on how your pant pocket is cut, the one downside is that it may always deploy. So some of my pants, I pull it out, and unless I purposely do it, it's fine and it's still in the handle. Some of them, it just automatically hooks on because of the way my pants are cut, and the knife is going to deploy every time I remove it from my pocket. So that's just something to consider. It doesn't happen a lot, but there are a few pants that I do own that it's like, okay, if I'm gonna pull this out of my pocket, it's gonna be opened. So that is something to consider, but it's super fast, lots of fun, and it does give another feature of quick deployment on this knife, and that's what Emerson is well known for. And the lockup is insane. Nice frame lock, almost like 100% of the back of the blade covered. Love that. Good jimping with that without it being sharp in there, that I'm easily able to disengage with my finger and then I'll close up one-handed. But really, I mean, super solid. You want an under $40, like almost indestructible pocket knife, I mean, this thing is it. I mean, this is gonna have it with that frame lock. The detent is great as well. There's the little detent ball, pivot right there. Clicks it into place, you can feel it. It's not gonna come out in your pocket by mistake unless you're purposely wanting to do it. So lockup, deployment, all of it, awesome on this knife. Okay, so price on this bad boy, you're gonna love it, under $40. We're looking at, last I checked on Amazon, $35. Super awesome. Links below over to Amazon. That's always a great way to help support the channel. You guys like what you see here. That always helps us out when you use those hyperlinks to keep doing what we're doing and produce videos just like this one. So we'll have links to this Emerson and a few other ones that I've already tested out or I'm planning on testing out that I'm really digging so far because they got some great stuff. And basically you're getting a standout knife with an Emerson name with budget materials, but really well put together for under $40. All of them, I believe, come in at under 40 bucks. So you can just pick your flavor, and you're getting super strong, design with the frame locks, and then you're getting decent steel that's going to hold a decent edge, and then you can tune up super easy, and then you're getting that awesome cool features like the wave and the disc feature. Ambidextrous lefties can use all these knives. It's a great setup, and particularly this one's coming in and just standing out so much from the crowd and making me love something that in theory on paper, if Kershaw and Emerson had run this to me and said, hey, this is what we're thinking about designing, I'd be like, cool, not interested. But because of the way they put this together and just how it fits, it just fits a niche, and I just love it. I love it because of that, and it's coming in at a great price. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the handle here. What we're looking at is a G10 scale in tan on one side, and it's backed up by some steel on the steel liner here, and then stainless steel on the other side with the frame lock. Now, what that means for is, one, not only a fantastic amount of traction, but also super strong. This is a super strong knife. This is when I got this and really started to use it, one of the first things that popped in my head, because of the locking system and the handle they decided to go with, I was like, I've been all over the world. I've been to Cambodia like 3 times. I've been to Egypt. I've been to Russia. I've been all over the world, China. And this is like a pocket knife I would want to take anywhere with me because it's indestructible is how I feel this thing is designed. So what we have here is a handle length of 4.75 inches overall handle length, and what we're looking at is a maximum thickness of 0.41, so very thin for how massive this knife feels in the hand. So I really like that a lot. Now, it's going to take up a lot of real estate with that 4.75 length, but it's not overly, it's not like 5.5 inches where it's like, holy crap, this is just taking up too much of my pocket space. Now, it is heavy at 5.8 ounces, but because of how thin they've made it and just the way it's built, it doesn't feel that heavy. And like I said in the intro, it's breaking all my rules. Usually if it's over 5 ounces, I'm not really interested. I'm probably never going to carry the knife, or it's going to be really rare. I've constantly been carrying this knife. I'm rocking like, what do I got right here? I got an Emerson Auto, right here. This is 4.1 ounces, so 1.5 ounces lighter, and it's thicker. And that's something to note as well. Again, that thinness, the 4.1, this is 4.8, I believe. Just makes for a knife that normally I would just balk at and be like, bah, I'm not interested. But I just love love EDCing this knife so much and just the strength that it gives me. Now what we have here is good jimping all the way up with that thumb ramp that works with the wave. So I'm super locked into place, massive cutout here. So I mean, this is a tactical folder, but you can use it for EDC because of the grind and everything that we've been talking about. I mean, I am locked into place here, folks, in the hammer grip or in its the reverse grip. I mean, I'm going nowhere when I'm using this knife and when I'm gripping it, and it doesn't feel overly thin like it's creating a bunch of hot spots, no hot spots really, and I even have some jimping back here. And they've done it in such a way that it's not aggressive. You know, it doesn't thrash my hand when I bear down on it. Jimping that's super sharp and causes pain, I hate. But this one, it's stunning. I should hate this knife in every way, in its weight, in its size, and in some of even the handle ergonomics that you would think looking at it. But when I got it in my hand, I was just like, I'm in love with this folder. All right, folks, so the pocket clip we're looking at is a blacked out pocket clip. Totally dig that. It's got the little Emerson logo, kind of goofy looking skull guy on there, just kind of help it stand out. It is ambidextrous, right or left, tip up only. Totally dig that. So totally ambidextrous with the wave feature, the disc feature, and the swapping pocket clip. Very nice to see. Phillip heads on there, positive and negative, makes it super easy. Everyone has a Phillips screwdriver around. You don't have to go find some Allen head or star driver. Downside is I think they tend to, unless you have to get the exact size, you can tend to strip out Phillip heads. So it's a positive and negative there. Easy accessibility, just be very careful. Make sure you got a really good Phillips head that's not too big or too small, and you strip these things out and then you can't swap them or clean them or do whatever you want to do with them. Now it is going to ride rather high, and with the satin styling of the frame lock here on this side, it's noticeable. I mean, people know you're going to be carrying a pocket clip. Just keep that in consideration. It's not going to thrash your pocket at all with the stainless steel. On the G10 side, it'll hide a little bit better. So if you're a lefty, you're actually going to get a little bit better hiding capability, and it will be a little more aggressive on your pocket. So just keep that in mind. Nice giant lanyard hole so that you can throw your lanyards on there. Throw an extra skull on there if you wish. But overall decent, you know, and particularly tip up, you know, right or left, the ambidextrous, all that. You lefties are going to love this, and righties are going to love it too. Just going to have a really high ride, higher than I would prefer. I always prefer loop overs when I can get them. Well, how do I end this video? It's really hard for me to kind of think about what I want to say here to you guys, aside from it's okay to bend the rules and even break the rules from time to time, particularly when it comes to your EDC systems. Just because there's a particular way you like things, or a particular styling, or a particular maybe weight class or whatever, don't pigeonhole yourself. You know, I saw it aesthetically, this knife really connected with me. I thought I would really not like it, and I was doing it more, I purchased it more as just for a review for you guys to give a good feel, and probably, you know, kind of be like, it's super heavy, but I ended up loving it, and just the balance, the design, they have really outdone themselves with this particular model, and I'm super excited because I'm getting the CQC 10K. So that's another one that just came out, very large like this. It's actually a little lighter, going to have more of like a hunting buoy clip. We're going to be checking that out. We'll run both of those up against each other in an upcoming video because I like this one so much. I was like, okay, I got to get that other one too. So guys, totally dig this. Prince of Persia, law-breaking knife that I should absolutely hate but absolutely love. If you dig the design and you think you might be interested, for the $35 price point, you can't go wrong, and I think you're going to love it, and it's going to fit a need that you may have in your system. So as always, thank you so much for coming over here, checking out the channel. Please subscribe, comment, like, share this video. Check us out on all the relevant social media. Use these little links right here to check out the next video, as well as the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber already. And always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.